Hello guys, welcome to my channel full on drama. Today I have brought you 4 petty revenge stories. Story 1. How I made my brother fly all over the country to get to his daughter's graduation. So I 50 female have an exceptionally annoying, older brother 61 male. There came a time in his life when his youngest daughter was graduating from college in Ohio. We live in Washington state and a few of the family had made plans to go to my niece's college graduation and taking a few vacation days to see the sights, so we would be leaving before him. My brother kept procrastinating and not making plane reservations for some unknown reason. Finally, when it was getting close to the date, I asked him one last time, "Are you, or are you not coming with us to the graduation?" He whined and complained and asked if I would make the plane reservation because he was too busy. It was such a pain, etc. I said sure, no problem, and I then proceeded to send him all over the country on Southwest Airlines so that he ended up taking 4 airplanes between Seattle and Ohio over about 12 hours. I believe he flew from Seattle to Los Angeles to Salt Lake City to Atlanta and then to Cleveland or something like that, as that particular detail is a big foggy as it was about 12 years ago. We went to pick him up at the airport and he kept saying, "I just can't figure out why I had to take so many planes to get here. It seems like there should have been a more direct flight." Baby sister just smiled and said, "Ha, that's so weird. I wonder how that happened." Story 2. My teenage self took petty revenge on a work placement bully. When I was 16, I took place in a 2-week work placement scheme at a beauty salon. The bully in question was an adult woman we will call Karen, who instead of providing opportunities to learn about the beauty industry, instructed me to deep clean the salon and take appointments. I figured you have to start somewhere, and while I was disappointed, I was young and keen and did as I was asked. The problem was that Karen would exclude me from staff breaks and regularly cut my lunch hour to 20 mins, just as I was leaving to get lunch. I also heard her twice doing an impression of me to the other staff members. I would go home crying and blaming myself. On my last day, someone canceled their appointment with Karen at the last minute. They were supposed to be getting a haircut and dye, which took approx 2 hours. Better still, the appointment had been booked towards the end of the day. The salon would stay open past closing time for regular customers. I decided not to tell Karen. I sat at the desk and watched as she became more and more frustrated by the lateness of her appointment, pacing up and down in frustration like a caged beast and cursing the client. She was still spitting venom as I left, and I went home feeling pretty good about myself for the first time in 2 weeks. Story 3. Made her get ready for a concert I wasn't taking her to. A woman said she was interested in me. We went out twice, then I invited her to a Christmas concert. She agreed to come around 5 days before the concert, then stopped answering until the morning of the concert. I followed up with her twice to confirm whether she was going, since she was being so quiet. All she answered that morning was yes. Concert time comes, and she was a no-show. Ended up excusing herself at 8:30 p.m. Concert was at 8. Her excuse was that she was too exhausted to go, but posted an IG story later that night at a popular hangout spot. I decided to let it slide, and we planned to hang out 2 weekends later. Another concert. Same thing. She agrees to go, then stays silent until the concert day. Confirms she will go in the morning, then cancels 20 minutes before the concert. I ended up going with a neighbor to avoid going alone. I encounter her the following weekend at a hangout. She texts me if I'll be around. I respond. She stops replying. I see her 1 hour later with another guy. There was another concert recently, and she had posted she wanted to go. I think she posted knowing I'd see it, since I get free tickets for certain concerts. I invited her to the concert, then canceled on her right before she was about to head to the stadium. Story 4. Boss went back on their word, manager backstabbed me, so I helped get their store shut down. A few years ago, I got hired on as a general manager for a small corporate chain specializing in ice cream. They weren't doing well as the pandemic had just ended and they needed someone to boost their sales. I was hired on with the promise that once I doubled the sales of the store, I'd get a substantial pay raise. I hit that goal 5 months into the job. During my 6-month evaluation, I was given a small raise, not even half of what I'd been promised. I was told that the store was still catching up, so they couldn't afford the raise they'd previously quoted to me. If the store continued on its upward track, I'd get my raise at my 1-year evaluation. Yeah, no. I started looking for other jobs and stopped going above and beyond in my duties. The assistant manager I'd hired noticed and took up the mantle, secretly going to my boss to get my job. After a month, it worked. They were going to demote me and promote her to general manager before I quit. A few months later, a friend sent me a screenshot of a post on Facebook where a girl was warning people not to work at that shop because they won't pay you. I reached out to her, found out she hadn't been paid for a week's worth of work, and the general manager, my old assistant manager, wouldn't do anything about it. The corporate number wasn't publicly listed, but I still had it saved in some emails, so I gave it to her and told her she ought to let corporate know about what's going on in that store. The store was shut down by the end of the next week. It was closed for a month before having a grand reopening with new owners and management. I got revenge in a two birds, one stone kind of way. Like, share, and subscribe.